Today was day one of facilitating the Global Leadership Institute for high school students at Meridian International Institute in Washington, D.C., a leading think tank. Today, I had the pleasure of designing and teaching two workshops. One was on my leadership personality wheel. If you haven't taken it, it is free for now, which is looking at 5 different personality types: the influencer, the relationship builder, the harmony seeker, the thorough thinker, and the executor, knowing that all of us have a little bit of each personality type in it, but helping students to understand what their prevalent or primary personality type is so that they can work better with others. Then we did things like which I also do with DISC training or business chemistry, a day in the life of. So they represent their personality type and then they say what motivates us, what inspires us, what pisses us off, what are our superpowers, what do we struggle with, how can you help us? And it really helps people, not just students. I've done this workshop with super senior people in the government and companies, and it really helps people to understand that often we think that we don't like people because we just don't like them, but we actually don't like them because they have a different personality type than us and they're doing things a different way than we would if we were to approach the same scenario. And so when we realize that we just have a different personality type than them and they have a different way of doing things, we then understand, oh, actually, how can we leverage each of our talents and superpowers in order to get what it is we want to do done. So actually talked about that with regards to coalitions for change. So when you think about coalition building, there's parts for all the personality types. The thorough thinker can be the researcher and the person that collects all the data and makes sure that they're anticipating obstacles and anticipating rebuttals and seeing where is all the data for all of the things that we're recommending so that they can back up the red team or your senior decision makers to be able to have that data, because thorough thinkers are usually like really thorough data-based people. The executors can drive the coalition, they can set the meeting, they can help figure out who goes when and who's talking next. They're really good at accelerating momentum and really getting to the finish line. The harmony seeker can make sure that everyone is included in the conversation and that if there's different stakeholders within a coalition, that it's not all being dominated by one stakeholder group, because harmony seekers are really good at encouraging inclusion and hearing from diverse voices and making people feel good and like they want to be there. Then you have the influencer. The influencer is what they sound like. They can be the person in the coalition that is the driver of the campaigns, that's doing the social media, that's sitting outside filming the video about what it is they're trying to do, that's petitioning, that's going to the office and lobbying Congress on whatever that issue is. Influencers are really good at mobilizing other people, so mobilizing other people to act, getting the grassroots together. And then the innovator can be the one that dreams up creative campaigns to highlight this issue. So some of my favorite campaigns I love talking about are one of my former students of the Women's Leadership Challenge, Mariana Diaz-Kraus, who runs the organization Movilizatorio in Colombia that encourages active citizenship. When they wanted to get education policies passed, they didn't just go lobby for those policies. They created a newspaper from the future that looked at what would the future look like if these policies had been put in place 10 years down the road. And they printed it like it looked like a normal newspaper with comics and horoscopes and showed the future state. Because again, in leadership, what is the future state we're trying to create? And showed politicians they could be part of creating that better future state, and their entire education policy platform passed. So we all have different roles to play with personality types, and that was the focus of the Leadership Personality Wheel workshop. And then we did a spaghetti marshmallow exercise, which is one of my favorites. It's typically building the tallest spaghetti tower, but I like to do it where you can either choose to build the tallest spaghetti marshmallow tower or the most creative spaghetti marshmallow tower. One team actually elected to do both, and they were the ones who had the most creativity and won. And you really saw that the teams that delegated well and everyone was assigned to a particular task did really the best in this exercise, and we see this with adults too. So that was the personality wheel exercise. Again, the Leadership Personality Wheel is free. I'll put a link to it in the chat. You're welcome to take the test. Let me know how accurate you feel like your results are. And as always, if you want me to come in and do training for your company, shoot me a message.